You're listening to ABA One-on-One Podcast.
The best way to keep up with everything happening around here at ABA 101 is to join our monthly newsletter. Just for joining, we give you $230 worth of free gifts from our sponsors once you confirm your email address. You can unsubscribe at any time, but why would you? Just go to our website, www.aba101.club, scroll to the bottom of the page, and subscribe. Hey guys, it's time for a new episode of ABA One-on-One.
Open up, yeah. Open up now. Open up. Open up, yeah. Open up. Open up now. I give a damn dog, give him a bone. Give a damn dog a bone. I give a damn dog, give him a bone. Give a damn dog a bone. I give him a bone.
Hey guys, welcome back to another ABA One-on-One. Of course, we got the boys in the house. We got Rick Wallen, and we also got Brian back in here. It's good to have everybody on deck, and we know the weather's changing. We were just talking about, Rick's over there in that great, beautiful Florida weather. Brian's up there, and we're over in Melbourne, and it's freaking cold and raining. And Sydney, we got sunlight, but it's cold outside, and the wind's blowing like crazy. So I guess it's perfect time to do a podcast. Guys, welcome to the show. Hope everybody's well.
Yeah, how we doing, guys?
I'm good. I'm great.
That's it. Well, yeah, with considering that weather, you should be great.
If I was, what the guy said, if I was any better, I'd be twins.
Oh my God.
I'm good.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
You can use that one without any kind of copyright. You can use it.
Are you serious? Because I'm writing it down right now. No. All right, man. Hey, Rick, what do you kind of want to go over this week, man? Lay some of that coaching knowledge on us, and
Well, I was thinking this week. I'm always, after the show's over from one week, I start thinking about the next week and what I'm going to talk on, and a lot of it's carryover from one to the next to the next to the next. And some things are. I want to talk about jobs. There's a lot of jobs, not so much now. Mm-hmm. Coaches getting fired, coaches getting hired. The Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem just hired their coach today, which means the coach hired had to leave another job, and that job will be open. It's a domino effect. And talk about some do's and don'ts. Because I was going to say young coaches, but I'm going to say coaches in general. I had already led my lead-in line was going to be I'm speaking to young aspiring coaches, but I'm now at my lead-in to be young coach or aspiring coaches in general.
Yeah.
Depends on your definition of young, but how to get jobs and keep jobs.
Yeah.
And most time that comes from winning. It does over here anyway. You keep your job by winning.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, go ahead, bro. Hit it. Let's get into this.
Well, as I said, a lot of this is a carryover from last week and the week before. One common theme I think that most people have is a thing called networking. You got to go to network, pick other brains, go to clinics, go to build relationships, go to camps, do the things you do. Get yourself seen, market yourself. When somebody sees, oh yeah, that's CJ, oh that's Brian, oh that's Rick, yeah, he's a coach. That already gets your foot in a lot of doors, but you gotta, once you get in that door, you gotta stay in that door.
Oh yeah.
But again, the common theme there is networking. I talked last week about being a bridge builder and not a bridge burner. Obviously, it's kind of an obvious statement, but not always. And things you need to do, again, it's all about presenting yourself in a positive manner where some AD or college president or whatever the job may be is, wow, that guy's good. That's good. Let me try to find out more about this person.
Yeah.
That resume doesn't tell the whole story about this guy. Let me find out a little bit more about this guy. Let me do some background checks. Let me call Brian. Let me call CJ just to find out if this guy's legit. You know, that type scenario.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. Actually, the guy that should be speaking the most on this is Brian. I know for a fact, you know, when he moved out of one spot, you know, another spot was climbing all over, like, you know, wanted to get him in their club. And one of the good things that me and Brian like about what we do is we only do basketball. That's it, you know, just like you know, and Brian, you know, like you're building your brand there. And we noticed that, you know, like I said, when, you know, you make impacts at clubs, you know, you've been able to get kids in colleges in America. You've been able to help kids raise their game here in Australia, you know, and you had to build your brand, just like Rick was saying.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing of it is, it's, and it alludes to your point about marketing yourself and, you know, making sure that you're in the right circles. Like here in Australia, we don't have that vast circle that you do in the States. It's a smaller community, and for the most part, it's kind of a sporadic community as well. You know, it's like, I know back home in the States, coaches share knowledge, okay, but they share knowledge. I mean, every coach is a product of someone else. You know, every coaching profession that we have, they've learned from other coaches. Okay, so it's a shared knowledge. What I found here was that it's a, you know, it's almost a protective or protectionist type of, you know, profession here. It's like, what I know is what I know. I'm not going to share it as much. But when you do find those circles where coaches do understand that we're all learning together, that's when it changes a little bit for you. Now, for me, you know, I've been a part of coaching. A lot of the coaching that I did is stuff that I've learned from other coaches as a player, but listening to other coaches that I talk to, doing research. I think that you have to reinvent yourself every single year. That's the thing that I found most successful for me, is just reinventing myself. You know, of course I have my philosophy on how to run a team, or have my philosophy on a program, or have my philosophy in terms of an athlete, but athletes change, teams change. You know, it's a way.
Personalities change.
Exactly. It all changes. So you have to learn to adapt. And I feel as though, like, if you're not trying to, you know, reinvent yourself year after year to keep up with the changing times, that's when your marketing potential starts to lack. That's when you start to get pushed back on that shelf. And I think, and Rick, you can probably talk about this, you know, from guys back home more so, but the guys that aren't willing to change with the times, do you find that they get kind of moved on sooner, as opposed to those that are coming in with the right now idea, with the right now movement in the way that the game is going?
Yeah, but you know, you were mentioning that about coaches or about sharing and working with each other and helping the young coaches and even helping the old coaches. You know, most of those people who don't do that are insecure in themselves. They don't trust people. You know, you got this secret play that nobody. I had a coach tell me one time. He said, "Listen, I got this play we're going to put in today at practice. It's unguardable." And I said, "Wait a minute." I said, "You got an unguardable play." At the time, we're averaging we're about fifth in the conference in scoring. So I said, this unguardable play, I got a suggestion. Why don't we run that play every time down the floor?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, I don't know where he was. He said, "No, we only go use it when we need to score." And I didn't, at that point, I let it go because I knew I wasn't getting anywhere. I said, no. I said, that ain't going to work. Unguardable play. I said, run it every time. And now we're just going to run, we need to score. But, getting back to what Brian was talking about, a lot of times, we have clinics here. Now technology is taking over. We got podcasts, and we got, you can look on the internet and find out anything you want to find out about basketball.
Yeah.
Those, those secret plays and all that, those days are way gone. Back in the day, a lot of the NBA guys now, they're very secretive. I'm lucky I get to go to training camp with the Houston Rockets. But most coaches in the NBA, and it gets paranoia, they don't allow their practices and stuff are closed. And a lot of it's for, I guess the NBA players, they all got security and all this stuff. I understand it. But, college guys and high school guys and ABA guys and CBA guys and whatever, because I'd say 99% of them are all about helping other people because we're all in this together. That's a common theme here now with this coronavirus going on. We're all in this thing together. Worldwide. And, these, I got hired by a guy one time and I could tell he was younger than me and I could just tell he was insecure. He didn't want me to say much in practice. I was trying to help him with some offensive stuff or how to go about attacking a zone. I don't know what it was, but anyway, he said, no, I said, yeah, let me do that. Let me present that to the team. And then I said, okay. But if you're going to hire somebody as an assistant and you're insecure, that ain't going to work. That's not going to work. And it didn't work. 1 year it worked and I was out of there. I said, I'm gone, man.
Yeah.
And it's kids, the players pick up on that. They know right who's speaking the truth and who's doing the right thing. They understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, really believe that. But again, as I said, it's all about sharing the knowledge. I'm going to some clinics and they're talking about who invented the 2-3 zone. Not who runs the 2-3 zone, who invented the 2-3 zone. A guy named Clara B. I think it's somewhere in Pennsylvania, some small school in Pennsylvania. But he's given credit for inventing the 2-3 zone. That's pretty deep there now. When you start inventing 2-3 zone or inventing, hell, we're going back to James Naismith now.
Yeah.
But, these coach, I told CJ, I talked to a couple ADs today, athletic directors, and one was in Atlanta and one was in Tuskegee, Alabama. And we were just talking, because I knew I was going to be talking on this subject tonight about hiring coaches, and they even went into firing coaches. How do you go about firing a coach? Hiring a coach and firing a coach, what you need to do when you go in for that job interview. You're afraid to ask questions. And you can't be afraid of rejection. Because, I've been turned down for a whole lot more jobs than I've got. I bet I've applied for probably 50 jobs in my lifetime.
Yep.
And, but again, it's networking. If somebody don't know you and know you well, I got news for you. You ain't gonna get that job.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They got somebody they want to hire. That's the way life works, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's that old saying. Sometimes it's not about what you know; it is who you know. And if you're not in certain circles where you've actually not necessarily established yourself, but you got somebody that can go to bat for you that is more established, that's when you do find it a bit hard. Like for me over here, coaching, it's funny how I got into coaching. I had retired. I retired from playing when I was 30 years old. I was in my prime, and it just wasn't fun to me anymore. I'm playing professional basketball. Just finished up a season in Greece and came back, and agent calls to say, Brian, I got a job for you over in Israel. Do you want to go to Israel? And I was like, nah, not interested in Israel. Then he says, what about Argentina? And I was like, I've already been there. And I just said to Gary, I said, you know what, Gary, I think I'm going to take this season off. And he's like, come on, man, you're only 30 years old. I said, yeah, no, I'm going to take a season off, take a step back. I took a step back, And I got a call from a friend over here that says, Brian, they got some high school kids and they're looking for a coach to coach some high school kids. Do you want to get into coaching? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll give it a go. So I went out and wound up coaching some kids over here at the St. Michael's Grammar, which is interesting because it was a drama school. And, you know, and I started teaching these kids basketball, and, you know, a year goes by and I'm enjoying it. And next thing you know, it was someone saw me coaching some kids at the stadium, and he approaches me and he goes, I like what you're doing with those kids. Have you ever thought of coaching older players? And I was like, not really. It's not really my bag, but yeah, I'll put my hand up for it. And then I wound up coaching the senior men's team, oddly enough. But my point was, someone actually saw me do it, which got me into it. And from that point on, I kind of kept going. And I never had the thought of playing again because I enjoyed coaching. But at the same time, I let my body of work kind of speak for itself. And to your point, Rick, you know, I think as a coach, you have to, and this goes back to what we were saying last week, you have to define what it is that you're doing. You know, I enjoy the development of players. I enjoy to be that stepping stone. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really come down to wins and losses for me. And I know that's a big reflection on a lot of programs and a lot of teams. It's about wins and losses. And I think that for me, whenever I do get a job or whenever I am offered an opportunity, that's the very first thing that I bring into a conversation is my expectations and what my philosophy is. And I think that holds standards when getting that opportunity, because the first thing I say to any interviewer, to anyone that's offering me a job or I'm applying for a job, I say it's athlete first, winning second for me. Therefore, I'm going to develop the athlete so that they win in life, not necessarily on the court. If that's not what you're looking for, if you're looking for overall wins and losses, then I'm not your man. I mean, I don't know. That's my philosophy. That's how I've approached things. So I've always been upfront, and sometimes it's okay to be rejected. Like you said, hey, you've been turned down for more jobs than you've gotten, and that's the same with me. I've been turned down for a lot of jobs, but I just make sure that if I don't get that on the table first of why I'm doing it, then it becomes a lost cause of miscommunication between you and whoever it is that you're coaching for. Well, what do you thought? I mean, that's just me. So
well, but we were talking about getting interviews and getting jobs.